In this video we are going to learn about 6 quick and easy ways to deal with nosy coworkers. Are you having a hard time dealing with colleagues who can't stop prying? Here are 6 easy ways to deal with nosy coworkers, and they're effective too. For better understanding, watch the full video, give a like, and don't forget to subscribe our channel for more tutorials. Number 1. Look busy. When you see Mr. or Ms. Nosy headed toward your desk or workstation, make sure you appear as if you are very hard at work. Start typing an email, or stare at a pile of paperwork with an expression of extreme focus. This may make them realize that it isn't the ideal time to stop and chat, but if they stop anyway, offer up an exaggerated complaint about all the tasks you have to finish up in the next couple of hours. With that, they should take the hint that you have no time to talk and carry on with their workplace walkthrough. Number 2. Change the subject. If you and a coworker start talking about relationships and he or she starts asking questions about your past or present ones that you feel are too personal, you can deflect the topic of conversation with a slight subject change. For instance, if you're talking about sex in general terms, and then your coworker asks you how many people you've slept with, you can say something like, "I love watching sexy romantic movies on dates. What do you think is the steamiest movie you could watch with a current or potential significant other?" 3. Ask them about themselves instead. Often, people who are nosy love talking about themselves and ask others personal questions because they automatically assume that everyone else does too. If you don't feel like responding to their queries, turn their questions back on them. For example, if a coworker asks you what your parents were like growing up, and you don't feel like delving into the pit of dysfunction that was your immediate family, you can say, "Oh, they were typical parents, I guess. What were yours like?" If your coworker's truly the kind of person mentioned above, they'll immediately go into a spiel about how wonderful or horrible their childhood was and forget that you're anything but a sounding board for their own fascinating stories. 4. Bore them to tears. Your nosy coworker likely asks you a lot of questions and is preoccupied with all the details of your life because they think you are, or could potentially be, interesting to them. To get them to stop poking around in your business, you need to prove them wrong. If they decide that you're the biggest bore ever, they'll likely pay less attention to you and fish for information from others instead. To bore them to tears, you must give the most mundane answers to their questions that you possibly can. When they say, "How was your weekend?" respond with something like, "It just came and went. I basically napped the whole time." And if they ask if you've been on any great dates lately, say something dull and non-committal such as, "Nah, I really don't get out that much." Of course, this strategy isn't going to work if they frequently see you out having a good time, but it will work if the nosy person isn't already very familiar with you. 5. Keep personal possessions under wraps. Nosy people have a talent for noticing everything in another person's environment, including small, inconspicuous things that wouldn't show up on the average person's radar. While you're talking to them, a nosy colleague likely will be trying to read the papers on your desk or craning their neck in order to glance over your shoulder and inspect the pictures on your cubicle wall. If any of your desk drawers are open, it's practically guaranteed that they'll try to take a little peek inside. After they've done all this, questions like "What's that?" or "Who's that?" often follow. While it's nice to be able to have personal belongings on or near your desk, if you want to keep the nosy ones out of your affairs, you've got to hide any evidence that you have an extensive personal life outside of work. Keep personal pictures and documents in a wallet, purse, or closed drawer instead, and if you really want to show them to someone, just pop them out temporarily. Of course, if one of your coworkers is being nosy about a work-related document, and it's something that everyone's allowed to see, give them a brief glimpse. This may even quench their thirst for knowledge for the time being. 6. Limit social media contact. If a coworker's nosy in the office, be careful as to how many social networking platforms you add them to. People's personalities outside of work usually aren't that different from the ones they present there, so there's a good chance that your coworker will, at some point, be going through your Facebook and Twitter pages and looking at your YouTube history during their off time. This will give them even more ideas when it comes to things to ask you about, if they haven't already found out everything about you by scrolling through 7 years' worth of photos and creeping 5 of your best friends. If you can keep these 6 strategies to deal with nosy coworkers in mind, you can continue to play nice with them without running the risk of them finding out about your sister's best friend's boyfriend's mother's dog's birthday and openly amassing enough info about you to write a tell-all book about your life. If you like this video, please don't forget to give us a like and also subscribe our channel for more tutorials. Thanks for watching.